Melda has released a new comprehensive EQ matching plugin called MMatcher that promises to not only improve your mixes, but increase the accuracy of your headphones and monitors. Let's see how it stacks up. But first, a big announcement. The Pale Blue Dot store is live. Use this QR code or the link below to grab shirts with the cool PBD logo. It's a great way to support the channel, and it's 25% off right now until the end of the week. And grab MMatcher and other plugins from Plugin Boutique with my affiliate link in the upper right or in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe, become a member, or join my Patreon. At its heart, MMatcher is an EQ plugin that you can use to analyze your audio and match it to a reference. I'm sure we've all had those times where you need to match vocal takes or you want to get your mix closer to a professional mix. MMatcher can help with that. Let's say we want this mix to sound a bit more like a pro reference. The amazing thing about MMatcher is that it comes with a huge library of references, organized not only by style, but by year and artist. This is already a great resource and saves you time from having to capture and save your own references. Of course, MMatcher can capture references too. Now, the very first thing you want to do before everything else is activate AGC, or Auto Gain Compensation. You'll need to click this toolbar button on the right, and AGC is up near the top. Now, this will compensate for gain changes between your signal and the different profiles. I also think you have to click Set sometimes to set the AGC manually. Personally, I'm not sure why AGC isn't on by default, and I'm not crazy about the fact that it's hidden from view, but I'm glad it's there nonetheless. Then, all you need to do is let MMatcher analyze the busiest part of your mix. Now, let's say we want this to sound a bit more like a Coldplay mix. They've always got great mixes and masters. So we just navigate to the reference in the folder tree on the left. And put the limiter on. Set the AGC. Et voila, MMatcher has now conformed my mix's spectrum to the reference. Or mid-range content. It sounds a little clearer, actually. Now, this doesn't sound perfect, and no reference is going to instantly sound perfect. So let's see how we can tweak this. With smoothness, we can smooth out the spectrum for a more subtle, natural response. And we can see that happening in the analyzer. Or we can make the EQ narrower by turning it down. Now it's using more discrete nodes to try to tightly match it to the reference. You can also blend in some dry signal to regain some of the original tone. Yeah, I like that. And you can open Show Advanced Settings and use Frequency Minimum and Frequency Max to roll off high-end processing or low-end processing. These are like low and high cuts that prevent processing on the signal. When I turn down Frequency Max, I hear more of the original sharper highs come back in. Again, there's a keep level setting here that I wish was turned on by default. I think these automatic gain compensation settings are off by default because Melda intended MMatcher to capture loudness as well. To each their own, but I'd rather not blow my speakers. So between smoothness, wet dry mix, and advanced editing, we can get our mixes closer to the pro reference. This is really handy for when your ears are tired or when you have to quickly get a radio-ready mix out to clients. This will come in really handy for my broadcast projects with quick turnaround. Speaking of, You can use MMatcher to match the EQ between dialogue or vocal session recordings. So I have an old project here where we had to bring the vocal talent in a year later to do a pickup, and the new pickup is much darker sounding. Here's the original.
That's how it works. When you post a job to Max Recruit, your job is automatically distributed to top aggregators such as Glassdoor, Indeed.
And here's the new one.
Here's how it works. When you post a job to Max Recruit, your job is automatically distributed to top aggregators such as Glass.
Much darker, but let's see what MMatch can do. So I'm just going to drag this clip into the pickup here so we have both of the WAV files on the same track. And then first we analyze the new track, the one that we want to change.
Here's how it works. When you post a job to Max Recruit, your job is automatically distributed to top aggregators such as Glassdoor, Indeed.
And then we analyze the target or the reference track.
Here's how it works. When you post a job to Max Recruit, your job is automatically distributed to top aggregators such as Glassdoor, Indeed, ZipRecruiter.
And there we go. Let's see how it sounds. So here's the original.
Here's how it works. When you post a job to Max Recruit, your job is automatically distributed to top aggregators such.
And here's the new one.
Here's how it works. When you post a job to Max Recruit, your job is automatically distributed. Here's how it works. When you post a job to Max. Here's how it works. When you post a job to Max Recruit, your job is.
There we go. That sounds amazing. That's really close. I would use that right away. I don't even think I have to tweak that. That's pretty great. I find a lot of match EQs are really bitchy and you have to really tweak them to get what you want, but this worked for me right away on these voiceovers, so I'm really impressed. And you can use the extensive library to turn your single coil guitar into a humbucker. Or match your individual instruments to an extensive library of professionally mixed instruments. Melda says they're going to expand this library significantly, which is good. As of this review, I've got a large selection but limited categories. I'm looking forward to that. Now here's where MMatcher gets extra useful. Melda Productions created a database of frequency responses of hundreds of headphones. So you can just select your model, and MMatcher will deliver a flat monitoring experience by compensating for your headphones' inherent inaccuracies. Or choose from a list of famous headphones to test your mix out on. I'll choose my headphones. You can see how insanely long this list is. I need to max out the interface here just to find it. Okay. So there are my headphones. To bypass. So that really flattens out the response. You can actually see what it's doing right here. And we can smooth that out if we want. Now, of course, this demonstration isn't very useful unless you happen to be wearing Audio-Technica ATH M50Xs, but you can hear how it really flattens out the sound. It removes a lot of the hype, which definitely leads to poor translation when I'm on the headphones a lot. And even cooler than that, if you have a measurement microphone, you can capture your own room and speakers, and MMatcher can compensate for room reflections and your monitors for a flatter response. So that means MMatcher can be used more like room correction software like ARC or SonarWorks than just a simple match EQ. That makes it a super competitive product, especially at the introductory sale price of $30. You know, I've been meaning to grab a cheap measurement mic for a while now, and I think this might be the right time for some custom room correction. Melda have once again introduced a fresh spin on a familiar concept, the matching EQ. I really like how quickly you can load up sounds from their extensive library and get a fresh perspective, and Melda said their emphasis will be on expanding the library in the future. And for a mere $19, you get all these matching features, plus headphone correction, monitor correction, and even custom room correction. My only criticism is along my usual lines with Melda plugins. I find the interface a little homogeneous, and the analyzer screen is very small. And because MMatcher attempts to match loudness, sometimes there can be substantial gain jumps when switching between profiles. At least there is AGC, I'd switch was on by default. But this plugin is a big thumbs up for me. This is so much more versatile than a simple speaker simulator switcher like MixChecker, and quite a bit cheaper, and more versatile than your standard Match EQ, quite easy to use. Check it out, see if it's right for you, and grab it from my links while it's only $19. And stay tuned for my upcoming review of Spectral dynamics. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and grab some Pale Blue Dot gear from my new store. Use my affiliate links to buy this and many other plugin deals, and support the channel by becoming a member or patron. Until next time, mix well.